Hi.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Kind of low energy, but let's kick it up because we have some huge news.
Huge.
Guess what, guys? Our merch is live.
Our merch is live and it's cute. It's chic. It's, it's black.
Should we show them if they're tuning in? Let's show them real quick.
Yeah. It's in our favorite color.
It's our favorite color, and we wanted to just do a really simple, streamlined one. And last time we didn't really do any other items besides t-shirts, so we wanted to fan out a little bit.
Okay. First, we have this gorgeous Disrespectfully beanie that'll keep your little head and your ears warm and toasty all winter long.
As you dismantle the patriarchy, you can get quite cold. You lose heat from your head, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
And then we did a cute little dad hat. So same thing. It's just the Disrespectfully favorite color. You gotta love it. And then our first hoodie, Disrespectfully black. You get the vibes.
Yeah.
So those are the vibes. We're very excited about it.
Keep you warm all winter.
Shop till you drop. Disrespectfullypod.com.
Yes. You need a Christmas present or something for yourself.
We talk about all the time how our favorite thing is to shop for ourselves. So I would buy this for me. I can and I have.
If you're looking for a Christmas present for yourself or for someone else, mostly for yourself.
Get one of everything for yourself and then consider other people. But we're very excited about it. So disrespectfullypod.com.
This is like the core collection.
It sure is. It sure is. Also, a reminder, please keep sending in your hometown heroes and your WWDDs to disrespectfullypod@gmail.com.
Exactly.
We're disrespectfullypod everywhere.
Exactly.
Whether you want merch, to tell a story, to check out our socials, that's where we are.
Keep them coming so we can keep reading them. We love them.
One of these today is so psychotic and I'm really excited about it.
Really? Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Let's jump into some hometown heroes.
Hometown heroes.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
we're here to do what we want to do.
Spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women, like
disrespectfully.
Kay says, "Good morning, beautiful ones. I'm a big fan of Vanderpump and have been listening to your podcast because my bonus daughter introduced me to it. I'd like to tell you that I'm very proud of her and her accomplishments." We are too. We don't know what they are, but I'm going to take your word for it. But that's as another story for another time. I wanted to tell you about the last threesome I ever had.
Okay.
Okay. I love the relationship that you guys have. I hope you listen to this together. Picture it. I met this couple on AFF.
What's AFF?
What's AFF? Adult Friend
Finder. Ah.
Okay, so if you don't know from home, Adult Friend Finder. They were looking for a playmate and I was attracted to both. After meeting a couple of times, we decided we were going to play. We met at a timeshare where her husband worked. He got us a deal. As we were checking margaritas and doing tequila shots and getting friendly, a warning bell shot off in my head. You know that rule? If it smells like a bad fish, it's not your dish. I should have ran right then and there. I was a little tipsy and wanted to see where this was going to go. Fast forward a bit. As things got very heated, I began to enjoy myself. I noticed that my thigh was wet. I thought, oh, he had gotten excited and came prematurely. I looked down and I noticed there was blood everywhere. Doing a quick calculation in my head, I realized I wasn't close to my period and noticed that it was on my thigh, not my inner thigh. It turns out while she was finger fucking his asshole, she ripped his hemorrhoid and bled all over me.
God.
He tried to apologize, but in that moment, I had sobered up extremely quickly, gathered my clothes, and left. They tried contacting me afterwards, and I ghosted them. I was so turned off that the experience traumatized me that I never had another threesome again. Thank you for letting me share.
What?
I wonder what your bonus daughter's going to say about that. Maybe she already knows the story, but yeah, I understand that might turn you off threesomes.
I mean, yeah, when there's just like a mysterious bloodshed, and you're like, not me. Not her.
Yeah, you gotta go. I think that the evening is over at that point. Okay, well, that's one way to kick it off. Katie?
Wow. Wait are you doing that quick math in your head? Anyways, also didn't know that hemorrhoids did that.
Yeah, that's like the worst part about it.
Sorry. I'm just like I'm going to think about this. I'm going to be thinking about this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Okay. Anyways, Anonymous says, "Hi again to my fave podcast girlies.
Hi.
I recently wrote in anonymously about getting disinvited from my partner's sister's wedding. My mom and I listened together and were laughing with validation hearing you telling me to take the low road. There's so much you don't know that would make it a lot worse, but I digress. The reason I'm writing now is because another story I always considered writing in revolves around her now husband in question. Keep me anonymous again. Get ready. It's about poop.
We're really
We
two
haven't
butthole
had a
stories
poop
back.
story in a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're distinguished.
Let's call him Mike. Well, before Mike was dating his now wife, he was on a big party trip in Croatia with friends. As the lads on tour do, he found a nice local girl to sleep with and went home with her. When he woke up hungover the next morning, he was alone in what he thought was her apartment and couldn't find his wallet or phone. He assumed she stole it and decided to take a massive poo in her bed, White Lotus style. He's also Australian. Ozzy seemed to have some obsession with poo revenge. As he went downstairs and opened the door, he saw her outside wearing his jacket, which had his wallet and phone in the pocket. She was holding coffee and croissants for them. He said he had to go, grabbed his jacket, and never saw her again. That poor girl did not know what was waiting for her upstairs in her bed. I was always confused as why she would steal something but leave him in her apartment. I mean, yeah, that makes complete sense. Obviously, he was not thinking clearly. I was also confused why he offered the story to me, his now wife, and his now brother-in-law, because it makes him look so bad. I'd be pretty turned off if I found out my boyfriend had ever done this to someone. Men are pigs. XOXO. Yeah, what the fuck?
I was not at all prepared for that. I would say that's an overreaction.
Yeah.
Then how is that your first? That's where your mind goes?
You're like, she stole my shit. I'm going to shit in her bed. Like, sir, maybe take a pause.
Also, you're in her apartment.
Yeah,
that is so insane.
Yeah. Maybe you have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
if you can't do some quick math like the previous gal and be like, oh wait, I'm in her place. So
she's gonna come home at some point.
She didn't just skip out on me, leaving me in her place where I could just rob her blind.
Right.
Obviously.
And he just left. He didn't say stay out here, I'll be right back. Ugh. It's horrifying.
Yeah, men are pigs. But
oof.
Thanks for sharing.
Bethany said, I mean, it's a great story, but horrifying. Bethany says, I hope this isn't too long. I promise it's funny though. I just want to start off by saying I love you ladies so much. You're both such beautiful examples of what badass women are. I'm a day one listener and a big Vanderpump Rules fan. Anyway, to my story. This is a story that I had buried deep in the depths of my memory, never to be remembered until listening to Disrespectfully one day and hearing another story and suddenly being right back there. 18 years old again, I'm now 35. After telling my wife this story, she encouraged me to write in because it made her laugh so hard. It's a story about the last time my boyfriend and I hooked up. And goddamn if it doesn't make me belly laugh. I hope you both enjoyed as much as I do. I dated this guy, we'll call him Kyle, for 2.5 years. We broke up partway through my first semester of college. He was the person I lost my virginity to and the person I consider my first love. I should preface by telling you that I am a straight up lady-loving lesbian with absolutely no interest in men. I knew it back then, I just didn't want to fully admit it. So instead, I pretended I was bisexual while I was dating him. Embarrassingly, I did mess around on him with a lot of women, but in my defense, he didn't think it counted, so joke's on him. That's
okay.
I hate when men do that. My point is, we were serious, but never forever serious. When we broke up, I was sad, but I knew my life was just beginning. So when I went to a party a few months later in some random older dude's basement to play some good old beer pong with the side of bacterial infection, I found myself super drunk and wanting to hook up. I wasn't confident yet with women, so I texted my trusty ex-boyfriend Kyle. Turns out he was drunk somewhere close by. Needless to say, he came back to my smelly, sticky first apartment where my roommates were thankfully already asleep. I was so drunk I could barely get a full sentence out, but I managed to get him into my bed. We are partway through the deed. I'm on top when I started to notice the room around me spinning, or was I spinning? Kidding, it was spinning, and I didn't even have time to hop off him before I had to puke. I just leaned over and let it out, and at the same time, I also let out a little toot. We both laughed and realized we needed to call it quits. I quickly thereafter realized I'd also started my period, and if there are not more signs we weren't supposed to be together, well, don't worry, because there was one more. The next morning, still drunk, I got dressed, said goodbye to Kyle as he frantically searched for his nose ring. I went to my job at a pizza shop. He texted me incessantly about his nose ring, and I eventually got annoyed and told him I'd just buy him a new one.
His nose ring?
It was at the very moment that I inhaled through my...
Oh no.
It was in that very moment I inhaled through my nostrils and something hit the back of my tongue. Yep, his golden nose ring. I inhaled it mid-hookup and slept there overnight. Anyway, he came to get the nose ring and we never hung out again. We still check in every now and then. But I guess the moral of the story is be true to yourself and avoid an embarrassing night of throwing up, farting, and inhaling a nose ring of the person you weren't even sexually attracted to because you're too scared to be your authentic self. Or do it anyway, for the plot. Thank you, ladies. Please stop never doing this podcast or being such bad bitches.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with this.
Okay, the thing is, I'm glad that he'd. Because imagine if you're banging someone and they throw up on you.
Or did she throw up to the well, I don't know.
She said she just leaned over, so I imagine it was right on him. Maybe it was to the side.
I think she said she leaned over or whatever.
Either aren't great.
But either way,
the little toot is so poetic too.
And then starting her period at the same time.
The trifecta. You gotta go home.
No, but the fact that she said he was still there the next morning. So he's...
This reminds me of when I was telling the story about my ex-boyfriend in college when we were on winter break and I was butt naked and ran to the bathroom to throw up and his parents were in the living room. I'm like, that is that kind of drunk. Also, is there anything worse than the spins?
No.
Horrible. Like basement. But
also, how did the nose ring get in her nose?
I don't know. She was doing some anteater shit. We don't know what was going on.
How did you not feel that?
Makes me want to gag.
And you inhaled it all the way up down your throat and like coughed it out.
That makes me want to gag. Moving on. And he came and got it. Put it back in his nose.
This is so gross and funny. Oh my God. That is chaotic.
Chaotic. We loved it.
Completely chaotic. But Jesus.
Tell us your very, very drunk stories. We need to know.
Okay. Anyways, wow.
I'm really good at shopping for my gals and my Laszlo, but the men are really tough to shop for.
I also have found it difficult to shop for the men in my life until I found Mack Weldon. You want the men in your life to feel and look good. Find the perfect sweet spot between comfort and style with Mack Weldon.
And you can kind of switch off between humbling them when they're being bad and then giving them Mack Weldon when they're being good. So it's kind of a little system we have going on here.
Yeah.
Whether you're looking for light as air underwear, anti-odor tees for those stinky guys, or sweaters with lightweight warmth, you can find the perfect gifts for him all in one place at mackweldon.com/gifting.
And right now you can build and save up to 15% on a pack of underwear, socks, or tees. So why not upgrade his underwear drawer this holiday season? You know he needs it.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah.
I got the main man in my life, Logan, the Ace straight leg sweatpants, and he said they're super comfortable. He's actually worn them like literally every time that I've seen him since I got them for him, and I've seen him a bunch of times, so they're pretty good.
The Aeronet X boxer briefs are amazing. Their unique mesh structure is moisture wicking and odor fighting, keeping you cool, dry, and comfortable all day.
We love that moisture wick. And you can save up to 15% off when you customize a pack of your favorite underwear, socks, or tees.
Oh, and while I was buying the Aeronet X boxer briefs, I also got myself the Ace sweatpants, and I have been living them as well.
Why not? You deserve it.
Me and Logan have that in common.
Do.
They are crafted with micro-brushed French terry and featuring a modern tailored silhouette.
Warm knit flannel will elevate his look and keep him toasty warm with Thermalite technology. This soft, lightweight flannel is designed to trap heat and wick away moisture. Ace Half Zip is the perfect layer when he wants to look sharp without sacrificing the comfort, which, what else could you ask for? This half zip is made with Mack Weldon's famous Ace fabric.
Get the perfect gifts for him from Mack Weldon. Go to mackweldon.com/gifting and get 25% off your first order of $125 or more.
That's mackweldon.com/gifting.
As you know, I have been decorating my house for the holidays, and I must say, after long days of decorating, hosting, and celebrating, nothing feels better than a restful night's sleep in the softest and most luxurious sheets.
I mean, I bet you're exhausted. You have been decorating a lot, so you need to rest up. I honestly couldn't agree more. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with 100% organic cotton and get softer with every single wash. I just changed mine last night and slipped in them. It's just the best feeling. These sheets will immediately change your sleep and bring you the dreamiest bedding experience.
This year, gift yourself a better night's sleep in the softest, most luxurious sheets from Boll & Branch.
Question for our disrespectfully audience. I want you to think about how you slept last night. Did you toss and turn? Were you having trouble getting comfortable? Were you too hot? Were you too cold? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, then you need Boll and Branch.
These sheets will immediately change your sleep. They feel breathable, luxuriously soft, and get even softer with every wash. They're made from the finest 100% organic cotton, and you'll feel the quality and difference for years to come.
I was using another brand for years that I thought could not be beat. Then I found Boll and Branch, and then I washed them a couple times. It's so cozy.
Well, the first wash, you're like, these are amazing.
Uh-huh.
Then the second wash, you're like, wait, these are even more amazing. Like, they truly do get better every single time.
Yeah. Like what more could you want?
I don't know.
A restful night's sleep and good bedding. That's right up there with our skincare routine as far as things we love.
I know.
Daddy list.
100%. But yeah, no. I just need basically a second set. So that way, you have them on backup. So that way you don't have to wait for them to come out of the dryer. You can just like switch.
There is no better gift you can get someone you love than the gift of a better night's sleep. Their signature sheets come wrapped and ready in a beautiful holiday box. Whether it's a gift to yourself or to a loved one, this gorgeous packaging will make the holiday season even more special. It saves you time during the busiest season of all and offers an unboxing experience unlike any other.
Boll and Branch products are made different so you can sleep better at night.
Made from the finest 100% organic cotton on earth by artisans who earn the pay and respect they deserve.
The signature hem sheet sets have designs and colors for every bedroom style and mattress size. These all-season sheets have a breathable, unmatched softness to start and get softer with every single wash.
And you can try Boll and Branch sheets with extended returns for the holiday season. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll and Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. Shop their cyber event for 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets. Just head to bollandbranch.com and use promo code disrespectfully.
That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com. Promo code disrespectfully. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details. All right. Jesse says, hey, Katie and Dana. Love you both. I'm newish to VPR and found the pod while cannonballing through episodes. I'm on season 4, so I haven't gotten to Dana yet, but honestly, can't wait. Katie, I love you. Your take no shit attitude is the mantra I choose to live my life by now. Now for my juvenile delinquent story. Buckle up. I'm the third of 3 girls, and say my parents had given up by the time I came along would be putting it lightly. I was left largely unsupervised, raised by wolves, if you will. If there was a problem, I was going to do my damn best to find it. My best friend at the time, literally the complete opposite. She was raised super religious, think not allowed to wear makeup or read Harry Potter because the devil would get her. This friend was the one who taught me how to shoplift. And boy, did we lift shops. So many for so long. Literally funded an entire Christmas with stolen gifts. This is the Target girl.
Yeah.
We had gotten away with it so many times that eventually we got sloppy. Cue the day of our reckoning. We had a successful venture at a nearby galleria and made our way to Ye Olde Cole's boutique, filling our cart with every cute bikini, hot girl summer, to try on, in quotes. Well, obviously you have to get your girl's opinion on the fit, so we went into one of the large fitting rooms together. This will be important later on. So after we had filled our purses, we casually strolled to the exit only to be stopped by the burly loss prevention lady who still haunts my dreams to this day. Long story short, because we were in the same dressing rooms together and because bikinis are charged by the individual piece, the real crime here, they lumped it all together and we both ended up with felony theft over $500 charges. I was 17 at the time, but my BFF with super strict parents had just turned 18 a couple weeks prior. So she went to big girl jail, but got bailed out immediately. I, on the other hand, went to the local juvenile detention center where I spent 4 days and 5 nights drinking toilet attached to the sink water, hoping and praying that I could pass the drug test. I was 1,000% certain I was going to fail. Well, somehow I managed to drink enough lavatory water to pass the test while in juvie.
Ugh.
Ew.
Ugh.
I got out and was put on house arrest. Jesus. 4 months later, I was sitting in what was supposed to be my final hearing, and I failed the damn drug test. I hadn't touched anything this entire time I was on house arrest and drank literal 2 liters of water a day trying to flush out my system. So I guess it was my karma catching up to me for getting away with it in the first place. Probation extended. Long story long, after completing the terms of my probation, 6 months of random drug tests, community service, picking up trash, blah, 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 and writing apology letter to Kohl's. It didn't go on my record. My best friend got her charges knocked down to a misdemeanor. The loss prevention lady said at her hearing she could tell I was the mastermind.
I object. Hearsay. What?
Her charges were expunged also. But to this day, I can't return anything to Kohl's without a receipt. I have my husband do it for me. He calls me his little criminal. Thanks for reading my shame story. Kids, don't steal. Okay, love you, bye. I relate to this.
I relate to this as well. Not proud of it, but
did you go through? Does every girl go through like a phase?
Look, I'm not saying where it is. Phase. I'm not incriminating myself. I'm not saying the amount, but I definitely went through a shoplifting phase, and I mean, mine I think was symptomatic of being broke and like just being desperate of like having new clothes and whatever. And I was friends with a troublemaker who taught me how to do it, and I was like addicted to it.
I think it's just symptomatic of being like a teenage girl. I feel like it's like in every teenage, and I'm not saying it's okay, but mine it had nothing to do with that of like not having money. I had money. It's just my friends and we were just, there's like a rush to it, I think.
I was fully addicted to it, like the rush of it. But do you want to know how I quit?
Did you get caught?
Overnight? No, I didn't, but I almost did. I was at a store and I think I stole a pair of underwear or like a couple pairs of underwear, and I didn't do it in the dressing room. So it was on camera, but allegedly this store didn't have cameras. And I had a friend who worked there. She didn't know I was doing it, but I had stopped and chatted with her for a second. And then she reached out to my friend's older sister because that's how I knew her. They were friends. And she was like, hey, just FYI, Dana was caught on camera stealing, and they're going to the police with it, and she might get arrested. And I don't know if that was just to scare me or not, but it scared me straight. My parents like instilled in me early and often, like that would never have flown. The amount of trouble and disappointment, I was more scared of the disappointment that I was going to face. Like I was not raised like that. And I remember the whole weekend being just sick to my stomach and wanting to tell my mom so bad, but being so scared, and never did it again. That was it. I was done.
Oh, I got caught.
Ooh, tell us about it.
You guys, this is so bad. Like, I think I was a freshman in high school, and we were at a department store at the mall, and I was with like 3 of my friends, and they were a lot more bold than I was. I had like a little top and like a little like belt, you know? And it was a store that didn't have cameras, and they didn't put like sensors on clothes, but they had these like loss prevention people that would like pretend that they were like shopping, and they'd watch people. But it was a similar thing where like they would go into the dressing room, they would put clothes in their like bags, like their other shopping bags, and like hide hangers like behind the mirror. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
But they were watching them like have all this stuff and then come out with like nothing. And so then they went like kind of like they figured it out. So as we're walking out of the store, these people like run up in front of us, and they're like, hi, we're from the blah, blah, blah. Can you come with us? And I didn't realize until like later, they're like, if you were already out of the store, you could have been like, no. Like the fact that they ran. Yeah. Like we had already like left the store, and so we could have just been like, no. I don't know if because we were still not technically like in the mall, if that would have been something, mall security probably could have done something. But anyway, so they bring us into a room. It's like a little back room, and I'm just like, fuck. And they start going through our bags, and I'm seeing them pull out stuff in my friends' bags. I'm like, oh
shit.
My God. They pull out mine. They were like, dink, dink. And I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, this is how we got because you guys got so bold. Like your coats. They had coats. They had like just so much stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, we're like, fuck. And they like took our pictures, and I look so sad in my picture. I'm like pouting. And of course they like call like our parents, you know, and I like call like my mom, and my mom is like, she does the thing. She's like, I'm so disappointed in you.
Oh yeah. I was
my
so
mom,
scared
my
of that.
mom had like a card for that particular store. Cause she's like, if you want to use my card, you can. I had money. She's like, I don't understand. You had my blah, blah, blah card. And I'm like, it wasn't about that. It was about just wanting to, you know.
Is this a universal thing that all kids do?
I think so. But like, I was supposed to go to a dance that night. It was like a Sadie Hawkins dance or something. She's like made me call in front of her, like call the guy I was supposed to go with and like tell him why I couldn't go. Like it was so humiliating. It was so humiliating. And God, yeah. So obviously I never did it again after that.
Did they call the fuzz or just your parents?
No, just parents. I mean, I was 14. Like,
Yeah,
15.
I know. I was a kid when I
yeah,
used to
no,
do this,
but
like 15.
yeah. But actually, no, I did have to do community service. I did have to do something. So I didn't go to like juvenile or anything like that, but there was like community service involved. I did have to pay some time. And I was banned from the mall. I was banned from that store for like a period of time. It was really humiliating. I was in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I remember having to like do all that community service.
Can we get arrested for admitting to these crimes? Or
No, because I've already did.
You did your time.
I wasn't even admitting to it. I was caught. I served the time. I
never got caught.
But
I was little and
I was yeah. But like that shit sucks. So yeah.
Allison, did you ever steal?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this is
I
like
never got caught though.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
didn't
was-
get caught, but I mean, I was so close to, and I'm so lucky. And by the way, I never told my mom. God rest her soul.
My
I'm glad
mom-
she doesn't know that. Like, I literally never told
My
her.
mom caught me stealing a piece of double bubble from the grocery store one time because I shoved it up my shirt and we got home. She was like, "Why are you holding your stomach like that?" And I was like, "I'm not." And then she like made me and then pulled out and then I was like, "This is like a little piece of double bubble." And she was and she drove me back to
Made
the
you take it
store,
back?
made me take it back and apologize. You know, so I should have learned my lesson then, but I was like, no.
Not you
So-
gaslighting Terry. I'm not. What are you talking about?
But yeah, so I feel like every person I've talked to, especially all like my girlfriends, they all when they were like teenager, like 13, 14, whatever,
Yeah.
went through a little klepto phase.
Yeah. Very young, but
But don't do it because if you get caught, you might get arrested, go to juvie. You'll have to do community service to get it off your record.
oh my
But-
God, the way that cured me instantly. I mean, that's why still
Mhm.
probably when I leave stores, I'm like scared because I'm not stealing anything, but I'm like still paranoid to this day.
Yeah, no, I am too. I'm
To this day.
because I just want to be like,
To this day.
listen, I learned my lesson. I served my time. I no longer do this.
Wait, what was your
I'm a
punishment?
changed woman.
What was your punishment from Terry?
I think I was grounded and just her disappointment. Like she was so upset. She cried on the way
Oh.
home. I was like, fuck. I know it was devastation. Like it sucked really bad.
Please
It was
send us
terrible.
your youth shoplifting stories and our arrest stories. I am waiting patiently, but we want to hear more about your shoplifting.
This was we asked for delinquent stories. This was a delinquent
Okay.
story. So if you have more of those, but
heading in the
anyway.
right direction.
Anyways, thanks for those hometowns. Woo! I shared that's a hometown of mine.
It is.
My own
Vice
delinquent
versa.
story. I forgot I had one of those. I'm sure I have more.
Yeah, I mean, I was not a good kid. Should we solve the world's problem?
Let's solve some problems now that we all know that we're not perfect people.
Let's WWDD.
Now that you guys know I'm a former criminal.
Should have done a background check before starting this podcast.
Sorry.
Michelle says, "Hey besties. Name's Michelle, 33, female lesbian here. Let's talk about dating. I've been single since 2018. I've been taking time to heal. I've been trying to date for the past year, but it's hard to find someone to connect with. I've only been doing the online route because I have social anxiety and meeting someone in the gay village triggers that and insecurities. My question is, do you have any tips to maybe overcome social anxiety or even find someone I can connect with and have an actual conversation with? Thank you. P.S. Katie, when you said choke, I don't care, at the reunion, I died." It's a classic.
Gosh.
I mean, so I relate to this in terms of not just dating, but so I have really bad social anxiety. And that might fool people because I'll walk in a room and I'll work the room and I'll chat with everyone and I'm blah, 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 blah. But I actually get very, very shy and really nervous. And sometimes I have a hard time with big groups and like
Mhm.
just can't handle it. So for me, my only solution to social anxiety is fake it till you make it. You
That's what I
just
was gonna
have
say.
to exude the confidence, and over time, I feel like you get more comfortable. But it's something that you have to work at. And then I would say even like exposure therapy. Like, you know, if you're uncomfortable doing something like going somewhere alone, maybe make a goal to do it and sit for like a drink with yourself or a mozzarella stick, and like maybe try to talk to one person you don't. We just don't know what this person's
Yeah.
life is. And maybe try to like talk to one person and then see how it goes, or, you know, just expose yourself to new things. But it might always be there a little bit. It's just about pushing past it.
Yeah, and you're saying you've been single since 2019. Well, what's happened since then? We went into like seclusion
Yes.
and we were like separated from people in society, and we've all had trouble like reacquainting ourselves with how to socialize I'm the same way. Like I get bad social anxiety. I'm a slow warm to people. It's difficult. So like you're not alone in that. So similar to Dana, like definitely a fake it till you make it kind of thing. Like I think more people do that than you realize. You kind of, yeah, just kind of forcing yourself into those situations until like it just starts to feel a little bit more natural. It might not ever, but like you just start to get slightly more comfortable with it. There's this like one sort of technique practice that people have like talked about that actually really works. Before you go into a room, visualize every corner of the room and imagine like grabbing it with like your mind, if that will, like just however you want to picture like grabbing it, every corner of the room and like holding
with my
it.
pussy. I'm just kidding.
Sure. However, yeah, just like grabbing every corner of the room and like holding it, if that makes sense. And that helps with confidence when you walk in. So you're not walking in with like your head down or anything like that. Like just helping you feel confident when you walk into a room, just like imagining like holding every like corner of the room, like in like your hand or your pussy, whatever it is.
That's interesting. I'm going to try that.
In your ass cheek. I don't care. Like, but yeah, like I was visually like picking up every corner of the room and like you have it. So like just helps you like walk into a room feeling confident.
I'm going to try that out.
Yeah.
Great solution.
Okay. Hope that helps.
Hope that helps.
Hi, girls. Anonymous, please. First off, I adore you both so much. BPR and your pod has gotten me through it all, and I don't know what I'd do without you guys on my Wednesday and Friday drives to work. I have a question. First off, my boyfriend and I have been together for almost 3 years now, and it's the healthiest relationship I've been in by far, and I love him with all my heart, and he treats me so amazing. I want to know if I'm being controlling and crazy for thinking these things, but a few times I've been on Instagram scrolling, and an account will pop up of a girl with a big ass and a half-naked blah, blah, blah. Account's called like corn. I don't know.
Which I'm assuming is porn
Yeah.
or whatever.
Corn zone and shit. And it'll say followed by my boyfriend. It happened a few times and I couldn't help but feel a bit shitty about it. I know guys look at that stuff all the time and it is what it is, but to follow these accounts just seems a bit gross to me when you're in a serious relationship and it's not fun to see. I brought it up with him once and he was super good about it and said, "Oh my God, babe, no, you're right. I've been following them for a while and I'm sorry for making you feel that way and I'll unfollow them. I shouldn't have been in the first place." Keep in mind, I never asked him to unfollow. I just said, I want to be honest, that makes me a bit uncomfortable. Then time goes by and he did unfollow them, but now I'm coming across another one. Do I say something again or just let it go? I don't think he's cheating type. He's been loyal and amazing. So am I being over dramatic? It mainly bugs me because I've already said how it makes me feel and he chose to tell me he'd stop following them and now here we are. It just feels more disrespectful now than it did before because we already had the convo and I feel like he's not thinking about my feelings at all. It's easy to feel insecure about this when I know my body will never look like that and I'm the world's biggest overthinker already, LOL. And he knows that. I love him so much and I don't want to come off as a nag, but like, fuck, it sends my brain to spiral and I just hate it. Oh, sorry for being long. I hope it makes sense. Haha, love you guys. Thank you. I mean, listen, I know that's like irritating as fuck to see that. It's like, yeah, like who wants to like look at that and say like, oh, cool, my boyfriend follows this like hot ass babe on Instagram. But the truth is that I follow like 3,000 accounts on Instagram. I don't see 3,000 accounts every day that I follow on Instagram. I couldn't even, like, if I went through and looked at all of them, I'd be like, oh my God, I didn't realize I was following this one. I haven't seen any of their content since the day I started following it. So it's likely that he did follow this account a long time ago, but has not interacted with or seen the content since then. So it's not necessarily that he's just like up in there liking every photo. I mean, maybe go check and see if he's liking all the pictures, the recent ones that have been posted. But like, if his initial reaction when he first brought it up was like, oh my God, like, of course, no problem. Sure, I'm going to unfollow it. And then you see another one, it could just be like one that he had followed back when he was single. There is single people behavior that we engage in when we're not with somebody that involves like interacting with certain accounts or following certain accounts that we want to engage with. I don't know. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he is doing anything nefarious or wrong. Just bring it up to him again. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't feel too insecure about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's doing anything wrong. Think about it from that perspective of like, what kind of accounts are you following that you're don't even realize that you're following it now today.
It might be like a pick your battle situation, but you had such a safe space with him to bring it up before. I don't think it hurts to just bring it up again and non-accusatory and just be like, hey, I noticed this. I'm sorry it's bothering me. It just is. I wanted to bring it to your attention. And then, see what he says and go from there. But
also, why are you being fed these kind of accounts as well?
The algorithm is algorithm.
Algorithms do.
Yeah, I say just talk to him about it. It seems like you guys have a really solid relationship, and I don't think you're being dramatic. Like, what bothers us bothers us. We can't control it, and there is, a fine line of you don't want to be pulling at threads that make something unravel that's otherwise a good thing. But just chat with him.
Yeah, because also sometimes like it doesn't always need to be like you're coming across as like insecure or crazy. That you're just like someone that is smart and wants to like check in on things and not be, ignoring potential red flags.
Also, if he doesn't unfollow them, follow the Girth Master immediately and very loudly watch his content.
But yeah.
Brittany says, hi, ladies. Just wanted to say quickly that I love you both and listen to the pod all the time at work when I do silent services on my clients like massage or facials. I'm an esthetician, and sometimes I have to bite my tongue and keep from busting out laughing mid-service. Anyways, I'll try to keep this short but detailed, so let's get right into it. I have a friend that I've known since we were like 12 years old. We're both 29 now and went to middle school and high school together. He is the will to my grace, and we've been basically inseparable until about 3-ish years ago. We had a falling out based on something someone else said that wasn't true, and he stopped talking to me for 2 years. Without really talking to me about it, he just blocked me on everything, and that was that. When our 10-year high school reunion was coming up, he unblocked me and reached out to me to mend fences, and I was still wary about rekindling my friendship with him because he was so quick to throw it away over nothing. I got engaged to my longtime boyfriend of 9 years at the time during this 2-week break in our friendship. Shortly after we started talking again, his husband left him. I wasn't shocked about this because I ran into his now ex-husband before they parted ways and before we started talking again, and he told me that he was thinking about leaving my friend, but he was scared to leave him alone because my friend has stopped talking to his whole family and all his friends, and he didn't want him to have no one. I told him that I understood my friend can be very mean sometimes and difficult to coexist with, and that he needed to do what makes him happy. About a month later, they were legally separated. I was the maid of honor at their wedding in 2019, and I think he was just looking for some reassurance from someone close to my friend that the decision he was about to make was right. Now me and my fiance are just under 1 year away from our wedding date, and I'm on the fence about inviting my friend. To be honest, my fiance doesn't want him there. None of my other friends really like him, and my parents both know how dramatic he can be given we've been close friends for like 15 years. Every time I talk to him, he finds a way to make the conversation about himself and his problems and barely checks in with me or whatever I might be going through. He basically uses me as a therapist and is so draining I can barely stand to be around him. He doesn't seem to care about anyone's issues but his own, and he is the biggest energy vacuum I've ever known. I know that if I don't ask him to stand with me or do my hair, he's a hairstylist, the friendship will definitely be over. I don't want him standing with me or doing my hair because I know he will just find a way to make my day about himself and his divorce. I also don't want to invite him for all the same reasons, but I felt like I have to because I was the maid of honor for him, and he is one of only 2 people that I still kind of talk to from high school. I know this is long, but I need to give enough context to make it make sense, and I still feel like I'm missing a lot of details. I am stumped on this one. Please help. Actually, this, for me, seems pretty straightforward. Please read back what you just wrote to us. You were the maid of honor at his wedding, but that was prior to him absolutely cutting you out of his life with little to no notice. I can't imagine cutting out a 15-year relationship without at least having a conversation first. I'm very wary of friends who take and take and take and take from you emotionally and don't give it back to you and aren't aware of that. So I think it's fine to have him back in your life. And if you think it's friendship ending, I think that that's also telling. If just because you don't invite him to your wedding, you guys obviously have a different relationship now. But I would also say it's your day and it should be what you want. And if you're already stressing out about this, for me, I would not be inviting this person.
I wouldn't either. And it's your day. It shouldn't be about anyone else's feelings and how they're going to feel about it and how it's going to affect them, because I guarantee in a year, 5 years, 10 years, you're not going to care. You're going to care even less. And also again, you feel like you have to because he's one of 2 people you talk to from high school. Like, what does high school have to do with your wedding?
There's no medals for keeping people in your life that are toxic that you've known for a long time.
Not to be rude about it, but like, I'm nearly who cares about high school? Again, like, we put a lot of value on like how long we've been friends with people. At the end of the day, we should put more value on how valuable people are to us. Like, how much value do they bring to your life, not how long they've been in your life. Honestly, like, fuck that. If someone is draining you and not adding value, like let them go.
Yep.
That's the brass tacks. Hope this helps.
Hope that helps.
Okay. Adele says, hi, ladies. Day one listener, day one VPR fan, went to grand opening of Something About Her. Oh, met Katie and Ariana, and Katie as a fellow elder emo. It was never a phase. Damn right.
Never a phase.
Sorry if this is a long story, but I have to know what would disrespectfully do. My friend and I, will call her Brandy, are both 35 and recently single. We were both married to our high school sweethearts for 12 plus years. Oof. Have kids with our former spouses, and both finally left our husbands after years of repeated infidelities. We've really bonded over our similar situation. We're both embracing being single, finding our peace after living in toxicity and chaos with our exes, and are learning to co-parent with these dumb boys. We have really become a source of emotional support for each other through this. I love her, and I'm so grateful to have someone that can relate to me and what I'm going through. Loving my new life, but also grieving my old one. Brandy and I have a mutual friend. We'll call her Cindy. Cindy introduced Brandy and I many years ago. We were both in Cindy's wedding. We were both there when Cindy went into labor with her first daughter because her husband was MIA, and have had over 15 years of friendship with Cindy. So here's the issue. After Brandy and I left our husbands, Cindy's husband started making a real effort to hang out with our exes. Ew. Reporting to our exes things that we would post on social media if we were going out, making comments that Brandy's ex-husband's side chicks are now the main chick, telling my ex-husband that I moved on really fast after leaving him, just all around bitch boy behavior, creating unnecessary drama. I've since removed Cindy's husband from my social media and really just from my life. Things between Cindy and I are not the same. I question her loyalty. I don't feel safe talking to her because I'm afraid that her husband will report anything I say or do to my ex. I've never asked anything of our mutual friends to pick a side in our divorce, but I feel like Cindy and her husband did. Part of me wants to have a conversation with Cindy, address her husband's behavior, and let her know that I'm taking a step back from our friendship because of it. And part of me just wants to let the friendship fade. Part of me wants to confront Cindy's husband, call him out on his BS and rip him a new one. And part of me wants to just be cordial but cold the very few times that I see him and not give him 1 ounce of my energy. I guess I'm torn between the old me that would have had Cindy's husband catching these hands and the healing me that values her peace. What would disrespectfully do? Ugh. This is bitch boy behavior. Obviously, like what is what?
Like who say her?
Like why is he like bored that he just like needs to like cause drama? He can't just like respect the fact that like you are divorced, you want to like have your peace, move on, that you're trying to co-parent, let him live his life, and he just stay out of it. Like fine, hang out with him, have your boy time, but like honestly, why the fuck are you getting involved and causing drama for no reason? I would absolutely say something and leave it at that and never say anything again. And if it continues, then take a step back. Let Cindy know, like, I'm going to say this and only say it one time. And if you can't respect it, then I'm going to be distancing myself. Like, kind of give like a warning shot and let it be that. You know, I don't think you need to just remove yourself or distance yourself for no reason. I think, you know, if these are people that have been in your life and have been good friends to you, try to like at least do the friendly thing by letting them know that like you appreciate their friendship. You haven't asked anyone to pick a side. You don't appreciate what's been going on. And if it continues, then you're going to have to distance yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I also think that Cindy should be understanding of like, if you should be able to say to Cindy, I'm uncomfortable with this. Please don't relay information. But furthermore, if this is, you know, making you miffed in any way, I'm not sure how you couldn't see how this would make me uncomfortable. And if that changes your dynamic, then I'd let it change. But yeah, I'd say something. And then if it continues, then pull away.
Exactly.
That's annoying though. I'm sorry that you're
Protect your
that.
peace. Always.
Yeah, you've come this far to get rid of a toxic relationship. Don't deal with the aftermath of that.
No. I've decided to get all my friends Jenny Kane this holiday season. Spoiler alert, Dana.
Well, thank God. I'm so glad I'm your friend. Should we just get each other Jenny Kane this holiday season? We can just like trade.
Exactly. That's why I just made that announcement. I just got the Wool Jones trousers and the Lauren clutch bag that we talked about last week, and they don't disappoint.
No, of course they don't. I took your recommendation, got myself the cashmere Jackie sweater, and you're right. I definitely need one in each color. And by each color, I mean just several black ones.
Right? They make gifting super easy with their iconic gift guide leading the way. Jenny Kane makes it effortless to check off everyone on your list, yourself included.
Duh. That's the big one. Everything Jenny Kane makes is pure luxury, from their cashmere knits and essential outerwear to their homeware pieces like their obsession-worthy candles. There's no better place to get into the seasonal spirit than at Jenny Kane.
For a limited time, our listeners can get 15% off their first order. Go to jennykane.com and use code disrespectfully15 to get 15% off.
Another great gift for your loved ones and for yourself is the cashmere half zip. It's the perfect piece to just take anywhere.
And if you need the perfect outfit to wear to a holiday party, the just-in fete dress is your pick. Pair it with kitten heel or boots, or layer a knit over the shoulder for a classic take.
Classic.
If
you're eyeing coats, look no further than the Caroline coat and the Après coat. Both are a must for the season ahead, adding drama and coziness to your looks.
Oh, drama. We can't forget about Jenny Kane's home essentials like their giftable candles and splurge-worthy decor. In fact, the holiday votive gift set just dropped and it makes the perfect stocking stuffer. I love a stocking stuffer.
I love my stocking stuff, let me tell you.
But this set never lasts long, so shop it while you can.
Plus, the Jenny Kane holiday gift guide just dropped, which makes gifting a total breeze. Shop Jenny's Edit, favorites under $250, and plenty of other curated gift-giving categories. And if you haven't heard, Jenny Kane has an incredible rewards program where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase. Best part? Joining completely free.
Gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, Jenny Kane. And our listeners get 15% off your first order when you use code disrespectfully15 at checkout.
That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com, promo code disrespectfully15. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about. Anonymous says, "Hi ladies, this is a tricky one. I'm happily married for 8 years with 2 kids and a beautiful life that I love. A few months ago, my ex-boyfriend of many years, who I dated just before my husband, died very suddenly and tragically. I was completely wrecked from this loss. I love this person so much. We shared a lot together, including a pregnancy, which we terminated. Our breakup was amicable, but really devastating to both of us because we still loved each other so much and wanted it to work. It just didn't. We did not really remain friends after our split, even though we had been friends for years, because I feel like there was still a lot of love there, and being friends with him would have been too painful, not to mention it wouldn't have been fair to my husband. I very much would have liked to mend a friendship with him over time, and now I'll never get the chance. My husband is amazing and incredibly supportive of me in general, but he has struggled to understand why and how my grief is so big and heavy for this person in my past. I'm looking for any advice you may have about navigating this strange kind of grief, or any advice on moving forward. I love the pod and I'm loving Katie's glow up era. Thanks in advance." That is a tricky one, because I understand it from your husband's perspective if he can't understand or doesn't want to, because it's someone that we all feel some kind of way about our partner's exes, right? Like it's a weird thing, and especially because it's not like you guys broke up because there was like cheating and there was animosity and whatever. When you have a really peaceful breakup, it can sometimes be harder than a breakup that is an explosion, or like you just don't care about the person anymore because there's love there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's probably less about trying to make your husband understand or be the person of support for you, because that can't really be on him. I understand he's your partner, but it's probably too weird for him. So I would say, although he doesn't need to understand, you should just carve out a space to say, "Hey, I know you don't understand, but this was a fundamental relationship that I had. It is difficult. It's sad. This person died. I don't need you to be my shoulder to cry on, but I just need you to know and at least give me space that I'm grieving." Like, it is something that is difficult. And sometimes, especially if you wanted to have a friendship with this person, that you saw things going differently. So you probably feel a level of there not being closure. But I would say you need to lean on your friends, therapist, family members, other people that are not your husband in this scenario.
I think you deserve to be able to grieve this loss because it's a real valid emotion and you can't deny yourself that. But I don't think your husband is the one that should help you through this. And I think you also need to respect him during this time as well.
Yeah.
And understand that like he's not going to be the one to understand it, and you don't need to help him understand that because he's just not going to simply. But also like don't alienate him too much in the process because he doesn't deserve that either.
I'm sorry you're going through that,
I
though.
know,
And it's complicated.
For sure.
But your grief is valid.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Cher says, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Disrespectful, gorgeous podcast. I'm obsessed. You are all the best and my new favorite podcast. Oh. Thank you so much for just being disrespectfully fucking cool and also being the calm to my anxiety. Wow.
That's an honor since I am a
Thank
walking
you.
ball of anxiety, but love that. Love that for me.
So as I'm smoking a cig, I'm like, let me write in because y'all just going to be straight up in the most kind way.
I want to know what kind of cig you're smoking. Is it a Camel Crush?
I
Yes,
just
sir.
like that you spelled straight STR in the number 8. Straight up the most kind of. I met a boy so fucking uncool and it's freaking me out. I don't know why. Have y'all ever experienced this? Because I'm a sleepy girl who watches Harry Potter every night. I randomly met this guy at a place I frequent because my dad usually asks me to grab something usual, Jack or Jameson. I am so cool with the staff and he's a new staff member. Long story short, I know it's like cuffing season or whatever, but the second time I met him, he asked me for my Snapchat. I was like, what? I'm not 12. I'll give you my number. Very brave because I'm cool with the stuff. And I could have been like, not kosher. And I told his management, especially since I've been cool with the staff. My whole routine is work, sleep, see my besties. The day he asked for my number, we have not stopped hanging out. I found out he's younger than me, like about 5 years. My previous relationship was for 4 years and I've gone Hinge/Riot dates, but I'm just like, dude, in the back of my mind, he's younger. We have hung out every day since. He got sick and then I realized, oh my God, I miss hanging out with this person. I even vocalized that you have to date multiple people during our first night. I don't know if it's because he's younger than me, etc., but I've already met his family. Unfortunately, his mom passed away and in my previous relationship, I was doing wifey shit and like Dana said, it can be passed off as mommy energy. I haven't done any of that, but my question, I guess, is because he's sick, I'm realizing I missed him a lot. And it makes me feel like, ew. I'm not like that, but I wasn't pressed on anything sexually, etc. And I don't know, it was just more hot. Transitioning into like dating and then actually liking them is so wild. I keep saying I have nothing to lose, but it just bothers me that slipping into a crush, I guess. I don't know what my question is, but him being sick has made me realize my triggers. He's just chill, but he's young, and I wonder if that's holding me back. I don't know, but having someone you like is awesome, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not on any of the apps and wanted to meet someone IRL, and I did. I just don't want to crash out, but you have to put yourself out there. And I'm like, not being a sleepy girl. And I also like not being a sleepy girl and go out now and met this person. I hope this is relatable. I'm 4 years out of the ex relationship I was in, and it's just weird having a crush. Would love the whole disrespectfully pod's thoughts because I think I'm lovesick. Thank you for creating this platform. It's honestly so real. I'll be the first to buy tickets when you all go on tour. Also, there's a MySpace documentary happening. Thoughts on that too. XOXO. Okay, so what I think she wants to know is that...
Yeah, please, I don't get what's going on.
I think she's just saying like, okay, like I met this person, they're way, way young, but I'm realizing like I actually really like them. I haven't been single for a little while. And now I'm like, okay, here's the deal. I think a lot of people find themselves in these situations where they've been single for a while. They don't want to get on apps, but they're kind of like fatigued when it comes to like getting out there and dating. And they finally meet somebody and they're like, I have a crush on this person. I don't know if I should. I don't know if they're the right person. Maybe on paper, they're not the person they were looking for. Perhaps they're young. Perhaps they're not physically the type or whatever, statistically the type. I don't know. So to this person, I'd say, yeah, what do you have to lose? You don't want to be a sleepy girl and stay at home. Why don't you go on some dates? What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out.
Right.
So you put yourself out there. You found someone, you found some things you liked. You found some things you didn't like. You learned some stuff about yourself. Then you move on.
Right.
You're not at home sleeping and watching Harry Potter.
Right. Which sounds awesome.
Which just sounds great, but you've been doing that. So why don't you switch up the routine? And like you say, you miss this person, you like spending time with them. So why don't you spend time with them? Why are you denying yourself something that you enjoy doing because you want to just like trick yourself into thinking that this isn't right?
I feel like also, is she saying that she was like resisting it more at first and didn't like him as much, and it's like you flipped the script, now she's starting to like him?
Well, no, I think she just was realizing like, oh, he's like young, so we shouldn't. But then they started hanging out every day.
Yeah, I would say don't let that deter you. Like, and I trust me, I get the ick about that. I like them old. We all know why. But if it ends up in a flow and a rhythm and you like what's happening, then do it.
I think sometimes go for the opposite of what you like, especially if you end up kind of liking it. Because I think sometimes people are like, but this isn't what I normally like, but I really like hanging out with them, but I shouldn't like it because it's not what I normally like. It's like, well, if you find yourself enjoying something that you don't typically like, don't try to push yourself off of it because it's not what you typically like.
Well, yeah, also what I typically like typically ruins my life. So that's me projecting. But I'm like, yeah,
Exactly.
maybe switch it up every now and then.
Exactly. I think, you might surprise yourself if you give yourself a chance to like actually enjoy something that you didn't think you'd enjoy.
Hope this helps. Also, the MySpace documentary has me really bricked up. I can't wait.
What
to see
is
that.
this?
I don't know. I don't think it's alleged. Let's see.
Yeah, I need to know more about that. So, I mean, I know this one was like a little bit of a hard to decipher, but I think I just wanted to make that point to anyone that might be in a position of like dating fatigue or routine fatigue and wanting to like put themselves out there after a time of being alone.
Agreed.
Do it.
Natty says, Dear Disrespectfully, is it a red flag when your partner gets mad when you talk too much about your hyperfixation and new binge shows? My boyfriend gets mad or checks out when I talk about things he thinks I'm overly invested in, like Love Island, true crime, or conspiracy theories. Like, these are my daily go-to for reading or learning and entertainment, and if I talk more than 15 minutes, he gets annoyed or mad and says he doesn't care. Why should I? And it's rotting my brain and it makes me feel stupid and like my interests aren't valid. Love you disrespectfully, queens. You guys are amazing. And Dana, I live in Seattle. Originally, Yakima, moved to Seattle when I was 7. And I had a feeling that was your MFM hometown. Ugh, still like one of the highlights of my year. Okay, Natty, break up with this person immediately. That's just my personal opinion. If someone is trying to yuck your yum all the time and you're in a relationship, I am telling you, you will date someone at some point that you will immediately notice the difference when they don't try and make you feel stupid. And I especially hate when men try to make women feel stupid about things like Love Island and whatever. Like, don't let him yuck your yum. This isn't brain rot. And if it is, then that is your little rotting brain. And you need to find someone who loves your rotting brain. Like, personally, dust to this man, but that's just me.
Similar to someone who wants to like hate on Taco Bell. Honestly, maybe they're not going to like love on all the same things. They're not going to want to sit and watch 52 episodes of Love Island with you, but they should not be getting down on you for it.
Making you feel stupid.
And making you feel stupid for it. Like, yeah, typically not every dude's going to enjoy it, but like, who knows? Maybe he would like it. Maybe sit down and watch some episodes. I find that like a lot of guys get into that show.
Yeah.
They get kind of hooked on it, but like, I don't know. It's just more exciting when you guys can find some things that you can enjoy and watch together, like binge some shows together that you like. But if like they can't find anything and then at least gets mad and checks out when you talk about things, like period.
And says he doesn't care. And why should I? Because I care. What are you talking about? Like, it doesn't have to become his new hobby or whatever. But even the fact that he gets mad and like there's a limit on time. No.
I'm going to say something. This person doesn't like you.
This person doesn't like you.
Because,
and also, I'd love to know what this person's hobbies are, what they think is cool.
Yeah,
probably something fucking lame.
I think if there's somebody that I love and care about, when they talk about things that they love and care about, I'm excited. Mm-hmm. Because if it matters to them, it matters to me. If it's important to them, it's important to me. And that just happens like naturally, I think. It's not even something you really have to like dig too deep for because it's just like, that's what matters. I don't know.
Also, just Natty, take it from me. I've dated so many people that hate me. I cannot explain. So yeah, this is not a person that's in your corner.
No, I mean,
do what you gotta do.
I got someone who's sitting watching like hours upon hours of Hallmark with me.
And that, not me. So strong guy.
Yeah. I mean,
that's love.
Like, and on their own is watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and, enjoys these things on their own separately too. So we have things to talk. So I mean, like, yeah, there's someone else out there who's going to be excited about these things on their own and also excited to talk to you about them. And even if there's things that you like that maybe they're not into, we'll sit and listen to you yap about it.
Also, there's worse things than being alone. I would rather be alone for the rest of my life than sit with someone who tries to make me feel like a dumb fuck.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take this as a hint that this person doesn't like you.
We love you though.
Yeah.
So thanks for writing in.
Hell yeah. Okay. I just want to say before this next one, there's a trigger warning of assault. Anonymous says, "Hi, lovelies. I've been a day one listener And Wednesdays and Fridays are the best days thanks to you both. Well, strap in because I need your wit and wisdom for this one. My partner and I have been together for 6 years. When we first got together, I was so unbelievably dickmatized and blind to the color red that I looked past everything. More on that in another email. Oh, okay. Fast forward a few years and our sex life has become absolute trash. He's opened up to me about his fantasies, and I will never sex shame, but some of his desires had me clutching my pearls. I need to know more. Mm-hmm. And I considered myself highly sexual and down to clown. For substance, one major fantasy is that he wants to watch me hook up with other men. We explored the apps and the E&M life, but always ended up shutting it down. I want him to be satisfied, but how do I approach this or even meet him halfway if I don't know if I can share myself? The real ticker is that we ourselves have not been able to have good old-fashioned normal sex anymore. He doesn't get excited by just me and can only seem to get off by the extremes. He swears he's not watching porn, but porn-like sex is the only thing that seems to excite him. He's 10 years older than me, so I thought maybe he's just done it all and is bored, but I truly could not tell you the last time we made love. Our sex life leaves me feeling empty and used and like I'm not enough. I've been objectified and over-sexualized my entire life, and to be with somebody that gets so excited for others to objectify me is really hurting my heart. I truly don't understand the appeal, and his desires are causing me to lose respect for him, especially since I've shut it down several times and we've talked thoroughly about it. I've also been assaulted several times in my life, twice in the last year alone. So on top of everything, I've been feeling ashamed of my own body. I want a deeply connected and fun sex life with my partner, not to feel so pimped out. I'm now having total aversion to his sexual advances, so we're both completely unsatisfied and have hit this wall. It doesn't help that he put on 50 pounds and completely let himself go too. In a bit of a pickle here. Anywho, love you too. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I have a lot to say about this. Do you have a lot to say about this? Go ahead.
I have some thoughts, yes.
Shoot.
I mean, yeah, obviously, it'd be one thing if there was just like, oh, we're in like a bit of a rut in our sex life, but this seems to be like in a totally different ball game because obviously he has a completely different sexual appetite than you do. You want, you're craving intimacy on another level, and he's craving just
freaky,
yeah. And I think you guys are on different pages. I think you guys just want a different kind of sex life than you guys can, than you can give one another. And I think that you need to have a kind of like come to Jesus moment where you realize that maybe you guys just aren't right for each other. I think you've tried, but like you're now, the price I think is too high for you.
Totally agree. I think that if your partner, like something like, for instance, he wants to be a cuck and, watch you have sex with someone else, the only reason you should ever do that is because you enthusiastically want to do it. If you are even a little bit unsure, you should not be participating in things like that, a threesome, whatever. No. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Yeah.
And in addition, I think that that's a really dangerous line. I think he's lying about the porn, but when it has to be extremes to be introduced to even get things going, I think that there is a problem unless you're both on the same page about that. But like Katie said, looks like you're seeking intimacy and to get your sex life back to what it used to be, and he's exploring or needing something totally different. So yeah, please don't do anything that you want to do. And like Katie said, I think you guys need to have a real conversation about the root cause of all this and a pathway either forward or moving on.
Yeah, I think his wants and desires and needs are maybe coming from a darker place. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I mean, people have fantasies, people have desires that could be totally healthy and everything like that. But like, it seems that him not really listening to you and your aversions to it, or him ignoring some other like pathways in his mind.
Totally agree. Okay, well, hope this helps.
Hope it helps.
We love you guys.
Yeah, thank you all for writing in. Make sure you write in your questions, WWDD, and your hometown heroes to disrespectfullypod@gmail.com. We love to read them. Keep them coming.
And head on over to disrespectfullypod.com if you want to get a little sweatshirt, a little hat.
Yeah, until next time.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.